Well, without further ado, I'd really like to get to this point and share with you guys our next guest speaker, a good friend of mine. And we actually met through a mastermind that we're both in. It's a tribe of phenomenal brothers that really care about each other and care about our forward progress. And it's been an honor, really, to get to know John. John has been really amazing to watch and see. We're in a small group together, so we get to talk all the time. And some of the great ideas and motivation and things have just inspired me individually so much that I wanted to make sure that we're able to bring that quality and all that positivity into this audience. So without further ado, I'd like for everybody, hopefully, help me invite Mr. John Brooks. John, are you there? Hopefully I can bring you on here. There he is. Yes, sir.
Hey, Mo. How you doing?
Welcome, buddy. Thanks for joining me, man. How's Florida?
It's beautiful here. It's wonderful.
I'm sure, man. You look like you got some good sunny skies back there.
Yeah, we're happy. Yeah.
Well, also, buddy. Well, listen, I'm amazingly excited to hear from you today because, you and I talked a little bit ago preparing for this show today, and the things that really excite me is what you guys have done in a short period of time with Momentum. So I'd love to hear from you a little bit of backstory on you, but tell me about Momentum.
Yeah, so Momentum is a real estate brokerage. We're 100% commission brokerage here in North Florida. We're actually in Gainesville, Jacksonville, St. Augustine, Fernandina Beach, and all the way down to Ormond. So we're basically virtually based. We didn't mean to do that on purpose, but what happened was, COVID hit and everybody was cool with it. From around Florida who had known us before, heard our story, wanted to learn what we were up to, started reaching out to us and saying, hey, I want to follow a similar path to what you guys had to building wealth and living a big life. Can I join your brokerage? And all of a sudden we said, we're not going to turn anybody away who's a good cultural fit and who wants growth. So we accepted these people, these real estate agents who wanted to be part of the journey, which is we're super grateful for.
That's awesome, man. I mean, it's amazing, the buzz and the attraction. And when we talked the other day, you told me that you from your background and everything else, you guys just really got started just a few months ago, right? The brokerage?
Yeah, we started January 17th. So we're on day 122 here. Yeah.
That's awesome. So how many agents are in the brokerage now?
We have 42, and then my wife and me, so 44 total.
Wow.
And we expected maybe to have 20 by the end of the year. And we were pleasantly surprised at how many people are really looking for something different than what they've currently been experiencing.
What do you think that is? What's happening, man?
It's a conversation. I think that COVID really exposed a lot of people's profit and loss statements. So my wife and I are ex-investment bankers. I studied finance at Virginia Tech. I was the top of my class.
Yes, buddy.
My wife is a CPA. We are both at Ernst & Young and multiple investment banks, and we're financial people. And we came into a real estate field that is traditionally all walks of life. And that doesn't mean that everybody entering that field has a business background. Yeah. Well, because my wife and I have the business background, we know how to track the correct variables. We really enjoy talking about profit and how to maximize. We were able to do it for ourselves very quickly, and people took notice. And then we said, you know what? What if we could show other people how to take the similar path? And instantly people were very attracted to the conversation about profit, because there's not a lot of transparency in real estate. There's a lot of people out there that say they do a lot of business. They don't do a lot of business. And it seems like just this giant ego of a conversation, when the reality is the only thing that matters in business is your bank account and your brand reputation with the community. And that's what people are not talking about. And that's what we are talking about.
Yeah, you hit it. The way you are as a brand and how you carried yourself, and that's the biggest thing that I've noticed that you guys are doing. I've been watching some of the videos, and you guys have some great content and information on your site. And some of the videos and things that you guys share in content is really powerful. And everybody seems to be speaking about that brand and making the business simple. I mean, I even listened to some of your agents talking about don't make it all about this CRM. It's as simple as a Google spreadsheet. Just get out there and do deals. I mean, I'm talking about how simple is that, right? That's awesome.
I think, Mo, what happens is a lot of these big brands, and we all do it. We create a shiny object to attract people. But the reality is a lot of those shiny objects are just that. They do not provide value. They claim this technology will change your brand and everything. You can run everything from a Google spreadsheet and become a millionaire in 3.5 years. You do not need all of the fancy stuff that's going to cost you money. And I think that they create an us versus them mentality where if you don't go with us and you don't use this technology, you will not have success. And they use it as a fake way to make a stickiness factor for their brokerage when they really should just be focusing on creating success for their agents.
Yeah. And
the success will bring more people to you. And that's what we're doing. We're saying, we will show you the best practices. We will coach and train you on the best practices to become profitable. And so you can have a big life. You can create the annuity income that you want. And that is so much more valuable than what freaking CRM you use or what technology. They all do the same thing. And guess what? If one of them becomes the best, they're just going to license it out to everybody anyway.
That's
so
right.
We're going to get it. But it's not right now. There's no one thing that is the hat trick that's going to be the doomsday for everybody else.
It's about adding value, man. That's really it. Yeah. Well, let me ask you, you and Brittany have been married for how long?
We've been married for how long? Oh my gosh, dude. It's been 2 years, 3 years, 2 years. Let me get back to you on that. We've been
I hope she's not watching.
Yeah, good way to call me out. But it's been, we will be together 10 years when I asked her to be my girlfriend on the 25th of this month. How about that?
Oh, that's beautiful. Good job. Good recovery, buddy. Good recovery. That's great. Now, let me ask, children, right? You got
one daughter. Mm-hmm.
All right. So I'm just going to, I don't know how you guys do it, man. So parents running a successful, phenomenal brokerage, 42 agents, right? And from what I gathered and what I'm hearing from a lot of your agents, otherwise, my gosh, you guys are calling, texting, following up, making sure everybody's good to go. How can I help? How do you do it, man? Are you Superman or something?
I'm not Superman. So we are systems and tools people. So we build a system and then we plug somebody into it who's extremely talented. So I can't take all the credit for myself. It's the power of the team. Brittany's a CPA. We really make sure that we focus in on strength finders. You'll see Anna Kruger up there on the screen, top right. She does strength finders, identifying what you're really good at so you can maximize. So we have a marketing person who is naturally talented at marketing. He does what you're seeing here is him. I didn't have anything to do with that.
That's right.
He just tells me to show up and send him the video when we're done, and he does everything else, right? So we go into business with people who are very talented, who have the same vision as us, and who have the same passion. My wife is super passionate about making sure the trains are running on time. I'm super passionate about training and coaching and maximizing and creating opportunities. Bruce is really good at marketing. So we just stay in our lanes and we collaborate. We don't really tell each other what to do necessarily, but we collaborate on everything that we do. And because of that, it makes it seem like we're superhuman, but we're not. We just have a really good system and we have the right people.
That's awesome, man. And it just creates such a forwarding relationship when you're assisting and adding value that much, not only in your agents, but also in your clients and your consumers. Your consumers and your clients are going to feel it because your agents are so happy. From what I'm seeing, my gosh, you guys are killing it. I love it.
We've had some agents who have joined us 45 days ago, and they have 5 million plus in pending just in the 45 days.
Wow.
And they're making more money than they ever had before. They're making $50,000, $60,000, $80,000 in 1 month. And this is profit because at their prior brokerage, they either had team splits or they had splits that were super high with the brokerage and there wasn't value being returned. Now they're able to have a conversation. What would it look like to buy an investment property? And they've never been able to have that type of income in their bank account before. So it's really cool to be able to build a platform that people can plug into, take advantage of, become the success story. and then start building,
that's amazing.
wealth I think I have 6 agents right now who are bringing in over $50,000 in profit in June alone, and none of them have ever achieved that before in their business.
That's phenomenal.
Yeah.
Phenomenal. So let me ask you something, because we've had issues we've had our own brokerage, and I'm extremely jealous right now, right? So because we had like 38, 42 agents at one point, and it was a lot of hard work, man. It really was, and for my wife as the principal and everything else. So let me ask you, your model. I mean, I'm seeing here 100% commission. How are you able to do this? I mean, how are you guys able to have that? Be successful, profitable, pay the bills, keep the lights on, and have 100% commission happen?
Volume is the number one thing, and we did that on purpose so that our visions would be aligned with the agent. Our fortunes are tied. So if our agents don't do a lot of reps and a lot of transactions, then we don't get paid a lot either. So we are completely aligned to help our agents live these big lives and create the lion's share of the income for themselves. I mean, we charge 0.002 times the sales price plus a $250 fee per side. There's maybe 1 or 2 companies locally who are cheaper than us, but they're not going to necessarily get the amount of value that they're going to get from the hands-on training. And we also, we had a team. My wife and I had a team. And in our 3rd year in 2018, my wife sold 66 homes her first year. She was pregnant half the year. And those were all buyer retail clients. Wow. And then the rest of it, between the 2 of us and a few other team members that were on and off the team, we closed 143 units for $36 million. And we had become net worth millionaires starting 3 years ago at negative $80,000. So, we are basically, we have the systems, we have the models, we have the scripts, we have everything that you could use for your own business to go recreate what we had built in your own way and through your own branding. And all you have to do is plug in. And it's so affordable relative to these other options in the market.
Oh, it's amazing, man. You guys have done a phenomenal job at making it a win-win for everybody. I mean, it's great. Let me ask you something, because it's really taken to create such a great vision and such a great value that you're adding into people's lives and families and your customers. All of this has to be driven by some core values. And I know you've got some amazing ones. Tell me a little bit about them, if you don't mind.
Yeah. So our core values are passion, purpose, integrity, and growth. And so a big thing that we talk about, number one, when we were looking at other competitors in the brokerage space, is they let anybody with a pulse, with a license, go through the door and hang their license. I mean, that's crazy. You're dealing with people's largest financial transaction of their life, and you're literally just letting anybody come in your door. How are you supposed to create a positive culture off of that? So we decided that we were going to have 3 things that we were going to require for our agents. Number one, the minimum transaction volume, which is 10 or more deals. It's 10 or more deals per year on our average price point for 2 reasons. Number one, we don't think you can make enough money to make this be a profession doing less than 10.
Clear, man. Honestly.
And if you do less than 10, I don't really believe that you're going to be able to have enough market knowledge to be able to provide 5-star service to your clients, which is why we got in the business in the first place, is to change the way real estate is done in Northeast Florida. Number 2, our other requirement is that you really do need to provide 5-star service. So you have to have the mental capacity in the systems and the desire to provide 5-star service. This isn't just about money.
Yeah, I agree.
And number 3 is your attitude. So if you're somebody who hits those first 2, but your ego is so big that you're not willing to learn, or you walk through the door to our brokerage and you bring the energy down, you're not allowed to walk through the door. And we've actually, we say we have 42 agents right now. We've denied 18 agents from joining us.
Wow.
And that's because we do have a standard, and we're really passionate about making sure that our culture is one of productivity and passion and integrity and growth, and making sure that we're doing the right thing to fulfill our mission of building wealth through real estate. That means we need really high-level thinkers who are passionate about the business.
Yeah. I mean, you said it best. I mean, it's really, the biggest one that really stands out to me is growth, and they've got to be committed to that growth, is what you've said. And that's phenomenal, right? I mean, and if done right, on purpose, right, you have success. So what a phenomenal job, buddy. Let me ask you something. What do you feel like holds most real estate agents back from success?
Their environment. You know, there's some people that didn't have success where they were before, and they've come to us and had massive success in a short period of time. It's the conversations that you are having. It's the accountability. It's the tribe that you get with who holds you accountable to saying, you said you wanted to do this. Let's talk about it. It's not a relationship where it's like, I did it, I'm going to tell you what to do. It's more like, what are your goals? How can I help you get from point A to point B? Why is that important to you? And what can I do to help facilitate you reaching those goals? And honestly, there's people that we've had conversations with who have been to these big box brokerages, and I sit down and say, what are your top 3 priorities? What are your top 3 goals? Because we do business planning for everybody who comes in, and they don't know. And I'm like, so your other broker didn't go over goal setting with you guys? And so they're getting really clear on what they want 1, 3, 5 years from now. And then we're working together to say, okay, what are your top 3? What's your personality type like for your strength finders? And then based on your strengths, what are the top 3 lead generation sources that you should be attacking? So it's very strategic the way that we're going about it. It's all aligned towards them and what they want, because I obviously have learned the hard way not to project my own goals on other people, which I still
exactly
all the time. It's like, well, I don't want to sell 1,000 units. I want to sell this many units for this. And it's like, it's your goal. And so we've flipped it on our head and said, we want to make this about you and your journey. And we want to help facilitate, even though we're 100% commission brokerage, we want to help facilitate you reaching your goal. And because you have all this extra income coming in, you can make more investments in your customer service and your systems and your models and your lead generation, or going out and buying investment properties. Because if you're saving 26% every single year of your gross income, you're getting 2 extra rental properties a year.
That's right.
And that builds up over 5 years. 10 investment properties can feed you for the rest of your life and your family. But instead, you're giving those investment properties to your broker, who might not be giving you 2 investment properties worth back to you in value.
Yeah. You know, the biggest thing that you just said that's really profound for me right now is the fact that my experience has been with working with as many agents as out there is they really don't, save for the future, right? I mean, unfortunately, a lot of us as real estate agents have not been taught right to, we're going paycheck to paycheck, right? Unfortunately, transaction to transaction, and we don't have enough, sitting aside to do something with when, it slows down a little bit or something changes. So having that foresight to coach your agents on that is phenomenal, man. I mean, that's amazing. Let me ask you, what is their triggers? Do you find a lot of your agents are starting to invest in real estate as well?
Not quite yet, but we're going to teach them how. We've bought properties at foreclosure auctions. We've renovated them. We have a rental portfolio ourselves. I know how to do property management. I used to do that. We can teach them the best practices to do that. Our agents aren't quite there because, again, we're only 4 months in. Most of them are coming in with no funds whatsoever. And now this is the first time they've had money. So usually what we advise them is, the number 1 thing is to pay down your debt, then build up your savings. And then number 3, create investments. And the 4th one is, after investments increase your cash flow, then you can upgrade your lifestyle. Don't use this money immediately to go out and buy that car, do this, do that. So we have a formula. Again, it's all systems and models to make sure that our agents are maximizing. Now, they don't have to follow the formula, but it doesn't mean that I'm not going to tell them, here's the formula, and I'm not going to encourage them to follow it, because they are coming here because they want growth and accountability. And so I'm still going to speak my mind to them, whether they like it or not. They don't need to love me as a leader. They just need to know that I have their best interest at heart.
The thing that comes to mind when you say that is the plan, because you've done this first, right? You've done this yourself, you and your wife. So that means that this has given you the opportunity and the capability to be able to teach this, right? It's leadership from the front, not do as I say, not as I do, right?
There's a lot of hypocrisy in real estate. And what I mean by that is kind of like when you go to college and the teacher has no real world experience on what they're teaching. How are you going to learn from that person? I don't even understand how those people are allowed to be teachers. I mean, I understand there's some people out there who are worth it and are amazing, but it's the 80-20 rule. 80% of it is going to be somebody who's teaching to a textbook that you can read or you can listen on to Audible. Brittany and I have actually done what we're preaching. And we would never ask one of our agents to do something that we have not done personally ourselves, or we will jump on a Zoom call and do a live call with our entire brokerage on how to do it. So I just did that the other week on expireds and FSBOs. And the agents can see, this is how I did it. This is how I was making $20,000, $30,000 a month through expired FSBOs. Listen to me do the calls and why I do it this way. Incredible value. I don't know the leaders of any other brokerage who are doing that because they don't have the validity, because they've never done it before, or they would be scared to do it. So how can they expect to ask their people to do it when they're not doing it themselves on the front line? And that's not a leader that I would want to follow. And if something is out of my wheelhouse, as you saw on our website, I'm going to bring in somebody else who is a leader on that. Yeah. I'm not going to pretend to be something that I'm not. And if I don't know, I'm going to tell you. And I think there's a lot of brokerages out there who are pretending. And I think the agents are getting smart and smarter and starting to open their eyes, and they're realizing, is this person the real deal or is it not? Or why are those people growing and these people aren't?
That's right.
You're going to eventually see that. Not all agents see that now, but I think they will over time.
That's right. No, you're right. That's amazing, buddy. You said something that's profound, and you said something about the team environment. Two things that are really important, of course. I think from the sound of it, it's really not a real estate brokerage. You've really built a team again. I mean, you had a successful team before, and now you've built another successful team, and you're allowing these guys to experience that growth and momentum, otherwise. So, by the way, that momentum, look at that. Nope. That's awesome. I love it.
Our marketing guy, Bruce, came up with that. I got to give Bruce some props. He's amazing at it.
So the question is, tell me about the team. So you guys, of course, you have, everything set up for your staff in your office, right? You've got probably, closing coordinating and things like that. What are some of the best things that you say you feel like you've done in your business that have probably been the best decision that you've ever made in building a team?
In building a team, it's the same thing that we're encouraging the agents to do. So if there's number one, it would be leverage the low dollar per hour activities out to somebody. That would be showings. That would be ISA, taking phone calls in. You don't need to hire a full-time person. Hire a independent contractor that does it per activity. So pay $25 a door, pay $250 a transaction for a transaction coordinator, and make that part of your business model, because you'll become more profitable. So you want to leverage, and then you want to do it through an independent contractor. You also want to build a system. That's why we don't provide a CRM. We just want you to have one system that you use. We don't care what it is.
It can work, right?
But one of the other things that we do is we're really good at script and role playing. And I'm not just saying that. Like, my wife is incredible with buyers. We have some incredibly talented people in our organization. It's abundance mindset. We have these people who are coming from these other teams who are the number one producer at another team here. And they're coming in and they're doing Facebook Live videos about the best practices to convert online leads.
It's awesome.
These people, they're so different from these other brokerages that are kind of maybe stuck in the Stone Age or not, scarcity mindset. And the agents are really now, because they see this other leader in our organization do it, they start sharing as well. So it's a big cultural difference. But if there's anything on the team, it would be leverage, making sure that your profitability is always there, and that you have a really good customer service appreciation program.
That's beautiful.
So we created a program that's called the Focus program at Momentum Realty, and we help you generate business off of your database. In 2017, Brittany and I did $5.5 million in referrals. In 2018, I did 15.5 mil.
Wow.
Referrals. And so we've broken the code, and we can give you the playbook, and we can either execute the playbook for you, or you can execute it yourself. It'll probably be cheaper to do it through us and our systems. And so agents are starting to take advantage of these little platforms that they can just plug and play, and their businesses are expanding very rapidly, and it makes become more sustainability in their business.
That's phenomenal, brother. That's awesome, man.
Yep.
The abundance mindset, man, it's just a phenomenal thing. And when we live by it, and the biggest thing is, I know you live by this, and that's, if you treat people with respect and dignity, you're going to get that back. And I think that shows all over your team, how passionate they are about you and Brittany and their team and their office. So without further ado, I'd like to bring back Lindy to help me. I'm sure she's just excited to say, my gosh, man. What do you think, Lindy?
He mentioned the word strength finders. I love strength finders. For any of you guys out there that have never heard of it, it's a oh shoot, remind me who did it. It's Volkman. Who did strength finders? Gallup poll did it in combination with an author. So if you guys haven't read strength finders, when I was at Wells, we did it, and it was one of the best things. It's phenomenal. It really does help you focus on what you're good at and work with what you're good at versus trying to say, oh, I'm no good at this. None of us have any fun working on our weaknesses. We all have fun working on our strengths. So it's a great a book and program plan. If anyone hasn't read it, it's highly recommended.
So, John, let me ask you: if you if you're talking to me and I'm a new agent, and unfortunately, a new agent is not the person that you're looking for, right? And I want to make sure that we talk about that for a second, because it's not bad to be a new agent, right? Because everybody gets started at some point. But what would you say to that new agent that can't have a home yet because he's not at 10 transactions? What would you say to them today when they're ready to go?
Yeah, so we actually talk about this almost every single week, because what if there is this power player who's coming in, who's a new agent, that we know we would put money on that person having success over the next year. So the people who are in our, we used to just say, hey, we're a graduate program, basically. So go to one of these big boxes, pay the money, get trained up. And then once you're trained up and you want to start really taking it to the next level, come to us and we'll elevate you there. And we'll help you on that journey. So that's what we used to say. Now we've actually come up with a really cool program. It's called a mentor program, where our agents who do more than $4 million in sales are allowed to take on a mentee. And there's certain commission structures and responsibilities between the mentor and the mentee to help pair people up for success. So let's say the mentor is really busy, can't take calls, can't do showings, can't do opens. He will mentor up the mentee to be able to take over that business and get compensated a certain percentage. And it's immediate income for the mentee. And then the mentor has all this leverage that they can now go on and expand their business for about a 6-month commitment. So we've actually come up with a solution.
That's awesome, man.
That can be a win-win for everybody. So everybody's making money, everybody's growing, everybody's being abundant mindset. And it's fun. Our agents are having fun. Like, this is so different. Everybody over the past few years have been, it's just like, it's stressful and they don't have the money. And now finally they're having the money and it's fun and they can see the light at the end of the tunnel. They understand the systems. It's just giving them, this is the one thing they keep saying. I have clarity. I have clarity on what I need to do,
that's beautiful,
how to do it, and why I'm doing it. And to be part of that clarity is just super rewarding to me and Brittany. And so that's what this is all about. I think that's probably going to be the theme of our first year, is helping agents get clarity.
That's awesome. We're in 2020, so it is about vision, baby. You did it, buddy. That's awesome. I love it. I love it. Well, man, it's such an honor, and thank you so much, Don and Lindy, for you guys joining me today. It's so great to hear about the positive things that are happening in the midst of all that's happening around us, right? And if we're focusing on the positive results, all we can do is create other positive results, right? So I'm really thankful and honored that you both were able to join me today, and thank you so much, you guys. And I think we're just about out of time, and we'll talk to you next week.
Awesome. Thank you, guys. Bye, John.
Thank you. Nice to meet you, Lindy. Appreciate it.